Well, it's interesting because things happened during the crisis of COVID. It is quite a symbolic moment. But the first bishop of Natsidotches, which is now Shreveport and Alexandria, was coming from my hometown in Brittany. He was a Bishop Martin. And he was a Frenchman, so he was born actually in the place in Saint-Malo, where my family lives. And then it was a very minority of Catholic people, so he had no clergy. So he made a visit in Brittany, or several visits, to recruit people. So he had young men and young women, young priests, seminarians, and religious, and they all came as missionaries from Brittany. So they did quite well, actually. They worked. But in the 1873, there was a crisis of yellow fever, which was, I think I am told that half of the population died. And 5 of these priests became volunteers, to help the people and gave their life. So it's quite an interesting story, heroic story, and the Diocese of Shreveport, for the moment, is doing a kind of process of beatification, and has presented these 5 priests as martyrs of charity, so the Holy See has accepted that the case of the 5 priests who died be presented together. So one of the priests was from my home diocese, not far from Saint-Malo. He was Father Kemre. 3 of the priests were from Saint-Brieuc, the next door diocese, and the 5th one is from Nantes, the southern part of Brittany. So I am really interested to know that the first bishop was from my hometown, and the 5 martyrs, and I'm sure that they will be eventually beatified. And the story is quite interesting. We have already a number of people from Shreveport, people from university, and Monsignor Mangun, one of the priests, have already done quite a lot of documentation. As now it is being presented to the bishops. I had the honor to write a couple of prefaces of the various books, presenting the 5 martyrs of charities and the documentation from this priest. So it's a beautiful story, by the way, but it's also something providential in the sense that these people gave their life in 1873 in circumstances which are not so different from what we have lived during the crisis of coronavirus. First and foremost, the idea that these priests came as missionaries. When I was appointed nuncio, my first posting was in Haiti. It was in 1995, so many years ago. And I learned, I spent 4 years in Haiti. I learned that 800 Breton priests gave their life as missionaries to the small territory of Haiti. 800 priests from Brittany, which is quite amazing, So I've spent most of my life in missionary countries, in Africa, in South America. Now I've been away around the world for nearly 50 years. And I've seen the beautiful missionary adventure of the church, quite an extraordinary one. And these 5 priests and others, because these are the 5 who died and others, gave their life, and they left their country. They went to a foreign countries, at that time, the Louisiana was far away, it was not just, the country of the dream of the people, And they were very courageous. They left their country just to announce the good news of the gospel. So this is a beautiful one. And they take a lot of risks. I remember the first priest from Brittany who went to Haiti were not even ordained when they died. And, they were writing while dying. They were writing to their companions in the seminary in Brittany or in in nearby Brittany, come quickly to replace us because we are about to die, imagine. You know? So there was such a generosity, and this is what has made the church. And what they also did was to help the people on the ground, and most of the people were not even Catholic. But it was just a kind of desire to give their life for the sake of the gospel. They were true believers, they were simple people, and they had a good background, you know, they were well educated in some way in the faith.